Who's the top guy in the club for fishing every day? Fishinfrank. You say you want to catch some fish? Hey, welcome to the
Hi, Frank.
Hi.
It worked this time.
Okay. Are we up?
We are.
Oh, really?
You see the thing?
I had no idea. So, we're actually doing a fishing report.
Yes, we are, sir.
It has been a crazy last few weeks. Over 7,000 people have come through Fishin' Frank's. And that's a lot of people in a few weeks. And it's just been nuts. People are going fishing all over the place. We've got quite a few reports. And if you can, send us some fishing reports, frank@fishinfranks.com. If you leave them in the comments, we may or may not see them. We try to look through the comments and reply to them, but we've been crazy busy. Today and tomorrow, Berkeley is here in our parking lot. There's 100, 200 people. They've got the captain's meeting tonight, and they've got the weigh-in results of this tournament they're doing. There's people coming from all over the state. They're all going to be out here in the parking lot. Some of the ones you've heard of, some you've never heard of, but we've talked to a lot of them. Really nice people. If you want to come to the parking lot, find a place to park, and there's going to be boats and trucks and everything crazy. And we are also at the Charlotte County Boat Show. We'll be there. We were there today and Thursday. Now we're going to be there Saturday and Sunday. Josh and I will be giving talks, seminars on all kinds of subjects. If you've got a random subject you want us to talk about, we'll do that too. But if you want to come down and see Josh and myself at the Charlotte County Boat Show, let's do that. But we've have one guy who's out, so we've been trying to cover extra shifts, and everybody's been sick. And we tell them, stay home until you're not contagious. Don't infect the rest of us. So running shorthanded, having 7,000 people come through, this has been a crazy, crazy couple of weeks.
Yeah, and to add to it, the new Slack Tides radio show has kicked off last Saturday. I've been building the website and making sure that functions correctly. And I'm teaching 3 different courses of fishing classes that all kicked off this week.
So everything's kind of going on. We're trying to get out in the water and get some videos on that. But everything in time, we actually weren't really expecting. We thought a few people would see this, but it's been growing bigger and bigger all the time. You have to have 1,000 subscribers to get paid, and we're almost there.
And we kind of thought that, we know we're going to be busy. If we take a Friday off here and there, it's probably no big deal. But turns out people really want these fishing reports. So I feel kind of obligated that we have to put them out there. Otherwise, people are missing it.
Yeah, it's proving it's growing much faster than we thought. We thought, well, we can put some videos up and learn as we go, and trying to figure out how to use all the equipment, and it has been it's an experience. Thank you guys so much. We love you. We really appreciate the support. People coming into the store talking to us about this all the time. But we're going to get to the fishing report. But we're at the Charlotte County Boat Show. We got Berkeley doing the big tournament thing here in the parking lot. And I guess it's time to put on my anti-stroke glasses.
I guess it probably is.
Yeah, I get up and do that. If you could leave the overview up for just a minute.
Leave the overview up, as in what I've got right there. You want me to
what's
do that?
that?
Leave the map up here?
Yeah, the full map.
Okay, put the full map up over here.
There we go.
And let's see if I can beam you in here.
Beam me in, Joshy. All right.
There we go.
Our fishing report runs from Venice all the way down. We try and if we get reports from Sanibel, but our fishing report covers this area all the way up to Venice. We do Myakka River, Peace River, and a lot of places in the harbor. So it's a big report. And Josh goes through all the extra work of trying to get things broke down so you only have, you don't really want to listen to an hour and a half of us. But anyway, this is how it's going to work. I guess we get started?
I guess we do.
Okay,
And
Peace
usually we
River.
start with the Peace River up here. So
Basically from around Harbor Heights, this area going all the way up to the 761 bridge. And a lot of fishing going on up there. One of the places I would check, it used to be prior to June of 1995. In June 1995, we had, I think it was 95. It was about there. Might have been 97, but the late 90s, we had 18 inches of rain in 2 hours, and that created a massive flood. Bridges got blown out, culvert pipes were standing up on end, and it changed a lot of the stuff. Basically, Josh, can you zoom in on Liverpool right here?
you betcha.
That's it. Thank you. Now, what started this whole area in growth, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, Boca Grande, was in around 1850. There was a phosphate mine went in here. At one point, there was 1,500 to 2,000 people working. They had 3-4 story buildings. They had dredges all through the river. They found phosphate here. And phosphate is necessary. It's a fertilizer. Now, if you're going to fight the phosphate companies, we don't fight them not to do mine phosphate. That is goofy because I like to eat at least once a day. Sometimes 2 or 3 times a day I want to eat. And phosphate allows us to have food. What we need to fight them on is responsibility, making sure their ponds are good, making sure they do it in a responsible manner. I don't like the idea of fighting a phosphate mine not to fight, or not to mine. Mining is necessary. We need it for civilization. But in 1850, and that's how Punta Gorda got its railroad, was kind of a toss-up. They were going to run right to Fort Myers, but they ended up putting down to Punta Gorda first and then working their way down to Fort Myers. But they also ran a line, if you want to back all the way out. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get the fishing part of this. Prior to the flood, this original docks were still here. Now, some of the pilings are still there. When you go up, look on shore, you're going to see little brick pyramids. And those brick pyramids were the shore side of the dock. Now, the boardwalk was all ripped out when that flood happened. But there's still some pilings there. When the boardwalk was there, this held a tremendous amount of fish. But right now, it's a good place to check because it's very deep. And occasionally you get a lot of fish down in the bottom of it. But with the drought, that's becoming really nice saltwater there. So the fish are starting to go through there and work on something. As long as this drought lasts, if it goes another 2-3 months, it's going to make the fishing here much, much better. Right now, you've got jacks cruising the whole thing. You've got some snook around this shoreline here. This is Island 33. You can tell Island 33 if you're not going up the river by there's a last channel marker. Charlotte County does channel markers through their body of water, but this starts DeSoto County. There are no channel markers. The cool thing is Island 33 is in DeSoto County, which means you can camp on it. You cannot camp on islands in Charlotte County. They made it illegal to do that in their wonderful wisdom. But as you're coming up to Island 33, you see a marker here. It's got red and green on the same marker. If you look to the left, you'll see the shoreline here. And this is very deep trough right along here. This is all inches deep, maybe a foot or two. But this shoreline right here holds some nice fish.
I'm just going to zoom in on it real quick there. There we go. What a pretty shoreline.
And it's this edge right through here. It's nice and deep. This is all very, very shallow. Getting from here past Island 33 can be challenging with bigger boats. You've got a very strong sandbar that goes across. And if you come to this and you see the red-green marker, go to idle speed and you can idle your way across here because you got people camping on this shoreline. You got people camping all up around in here. So a lot of the bigger boats end up coming on this side of the island, coming around, and you see how it's real shallow right through here. Good thing is it's mostly muck. Now, your motor doesn't like blowing muck, but it really doesn't. Your boat goes through it. But if you're going slow through here, you can go nice and through, and then you get to right here, you got deep water again. But the sandbar, the shallows, you got to figure out how to get around Island 33.
Yeah.
Now,
and it's unlike doing that if you're down on a grass flat. There's no habitat here to damage or destroy. It's just
no, it's just muck. It's silt, But the sandbar across here is pretty solid. It can really screw up a prop or lower units and stuff. So I recommend if you're not very, very familiar with it, don't run it. Idle through it, figure out how to do it, and you'll be okay. So,
zipping out.
There's jacks, there's redfish, snook. We've got, come up just a little bit more so I can get Harbor Heights there. All right, this is Whidden Bay, and all these docks have snook on them. There's redfish on the docks on the Punta Gorda side, and it's really weird. We don't get as many redfish here in Harbor Heights as they do in Punta Gorda, and Punta Gorda doesn't get as many snook as what we do over here. Might be just water depth. Now, got my quantum shirt on, and you see the big sign behind Josh there with Quantum Reels, big sponsor of ours. I'm not going to say the best reels made right now, but let's say the toughest, strongest reels made in 2025 were Quantum. They are the strongest, and they're coming out with all kinds of stuff each year, but it's a whole new regime at Quantum. Zebco and Quantum were bought by an amazing investment group called Rather, and they have put together, in my opinion, the best team ever for building reels. So Quantum is going to be, in the next few years, you're going to see Quantum taking over the saltwater market. They're just building some amazing stuff. Now, as you come through here, these little creek mouths here, they're very hard to get to. It's very shallow coming in. But wherever you have an opening between the islands, here, this is about little redfish, a little bit bigger redfish up here, but down along this edge, it's scattered with some small redfish, and up through here. On this side, going up the main channel towards Harbor Heights, I catch a few small snook along here, but this back side of the island is worth checking. You see how very shallow all this is here. But along this island, there's a little trough that goes. You can see it right there. Be very cautious getting into it. But 50% of the time you go in there and you can catch a few redfish. It's not, you can tell it's foggy and chilly out this morning. Got the overlay shirt on. Coming around to I-75, as you come through the main bumper system, you go up and come back over here. You can't get from here to here except if you have a very strong tide. You see this underwater bar that goes through here, another bar that cuts it off here. You can sort of sneak through up here, but I recommend going through the main body of the river, coming up and going over. Now this from here all the way up to here is slow and awake, but it takes maybe 10 minutes, tops 5-10 minutes. But underneath this bridge, if you work a jerk bait with about a 1/4 to 1/2 ounce lead in front of it, that's how I pick up the snook laying underneath around the pilings here. And they're way down deep. And when you're throwing your jerk bait, let it go all the way to the bottom and then just start twitching it back up. Just give it little lifts, and not great big lifts, but kind of about a foot at a time, bouncing up and down off the bottom. You've got some whiting in the channel here and whiting right here off the point of the sandbar. And they're not, let's say it's not, oh boy, this is exciting as heck, but if you want a nice meal, it's a good meal. Going down by 41. Okay.
We're getting there. Hey, by the way, with all these sandbars around, I've had people ask me very seriously why we don't see more people fishing in hovercraft or in airboats down here.
Well, airboats work great in shallow water, that they tend to sink when the water gets 10 foot deep. Water in shallow water is very, very hard. and it does not compress much. But I was working for the federal government as a contractor, and I was doing a big job up in Jacksonville. And I took Robert with me. I had to go. We had some reports of some damage done, and so I had to go and do an inspection run. I took Robert with me, and we're going along, and we're in about 10, 15, 20 feet of water. And then we hit the main channel that's over 40 feet deep, and the boat's going along just nice, and everything's going good. Then we hit that 40 foot, and the boat just starts sloshing like this. The water gets so soft, it's hard to support the boat. You need a bigger platform than what we had. Not that we were in any danger of sinking, but you can feel how squishy the water is. Mm-hmm. With an airboat, that change happens around 10 feet. If you get in 15, 20 feet of water with an airboat, you better be hauling butt, because if you slow down, you're going right to the bottom. It does not have the buoyancy to put that big, V8 engine, everything else with that small frame. It just won't stay afloat.
And of course, with hovercraft
Get destroyed in the salt water. It's like those little 6-wheel things. I really wanted one of those for wintertime charter fishing, because I could put it in, run down the flats, go across the sand, be able to float and get into all these creeks where nobody else could get to. But then you find out they last weeks or months with the salt.
Yeah.
The saltwater corrosion in a hovercraft or the little 6-wheel vehicle is horrific. On a freshwater lake, they're great. But saltwater eats them the hell up.
Hovercraft are just fussy things, and despite the many, many magazine ads you may have seen for build your own, even the military has almost given up on hovercraft.
They're great. Hovercrafts are awesome. Not in saltwater. And that's basically what we do, is the saltwater here. So whether it's a 6-wheel, that goes over dirt and, swims through the rivers and all that, you just don't want them in salt water. It's a lot of money. You're talking $8,000, $10,000, $20,000, and it lasts a year or two. If you're rich, go for it. I'm not rich. I can't do that. Yeah. So when it's just too shallow, I either walk there or, whatever. But 41, the fishing's fair. It's, let's say, fair to good right now. The hole at this end, right here along the sandbar, they are still hitting some cobia. A lot of people fishing along the bridge here because Lashley Pier's gone, Bayshore's gone, There's not a lot of places to fish. Get a pier net, a drop net, something with 40, 50 feet of line on it. So if you get a fish, you can just drop it down, get the fish into it, pick them up, and then when you release them, we tie the bottom off so it's tight, set the fish on them, drop them down. You don't want to toss the fish off from 25 feet in the air. They'll probably make it, but, I don't know, maybe there's a thrill-seeking, what's that, X-game fish out there? I don't know.
No, there aren't.
No, probably not. Okay, but fishing off the bridge here on the north end, this is Port Charlotte up here, Punta Gorda down here. You've got some fairly good snook fishing right here by, I can never remember the name of the resort. Great big resort there. So off this side, where the pilings from the original boardwalks they put in that were beautiful, it was a great boardwalk system, and it got wrecked through 3 different hurricanes, just took it apart. And the county only wants, is trying to get the feds for what, $50 million to fix the boardwalk or something, Our commissioners aren't. Yeah. Let's not just get what we need and get it fixed. Let's kick a little extra in there.
Yeah.
Remember, when you vote, don't vote by somebody's name. Take 5 minutes. It's important to vote and see what the person's done, see what they're doing. And if you vote because you recognize his name is Steve Harvey and you've heard that name before, please don't vote. If you won't look into who's doing what and what they've done or not done, please don't vote. Please vote with information. That's how you should vote, not because you heard somebody's name. So anyway, some nice fish along these pilings are actually starting to hold some snapper, a few redfish, a little bit of sheephead, not great. Good. Now, down here along Gilcrest, sometimes they kick you out of there, sometimes they don't. We don't know what's going on. But over here by the courthouse, the seawall over here has been pretty consistent with them allowing people to fish. Don't leave a mess. If you leave oysters that get stuck to your line, you don't want to get snagged again, just drop them next to the seawall. You're not going to get caught there. Don't leave them in the grass. That gets us kicked out. If you've got plastic, anything, don't leave it there. If you take it in there, bring it back out. Leave it the way it was, or we're going to get kicked out. We're not going to be allowed to fish. That's why so many places are not allowing people to fish, because of the garbage. Now, up here in the Port Charlotte side, can you bring me out a bit, Josh? Get the Port Charlotte stuff?
Sure I can.
There you go.
How much of it do you want?
Poor Josh. He's running the computer. He's typing the reports. He's changing the cameras.
It's okay.
Adjusting this sound.
It's fine.
Now, this is Bayshore right here. Now, Bayshore Road used to be 41. 41 used to come down and make a right and follow the harbor along here. And then the bridge came over to Punta Gorda. But they took this out as 41, turned it into Bayshore Road, and brought 41 straight down. So that's why years ago this was all full of hotels and motor lodges, and there was a restaurant, there was bait shops, and now it's a very much of a back street. But this used to be US 41 right there.
And hey, I have a fan report from that general area.
A fan report?
I do. Comes to us from David Martindale, who was kayaking around Bayshore Park and fished the canals between the park and Grassy Point. He said, unfortunately, he wasn't doing much on the trout, although he did find one that was 17 inches in a deeper channel mouth, but got 5 snook between 20 and 24 inches, a huge ladyfish, and hooked a 31-inch redfish that was sitting underneath a catamaran boat.
Cool. So the mouths of these canals and the shoreline historically has been pretty good fishing. The trout are usually more right in this area here where the original Bayshore Pier is. They put a second one in out here. But all these entrances here, you've got deep water. You just have to be careful how you get in. Follow the channel markers up into these areas. And there's fishing all along through here. And what was his name?
His name is David Martindale.
David, thank you very much for the report. And remember, if you have reports that we can help people find fish, Frank at fishinfranks.com. Yeah. Fishin Franks. If you're up north, you go fishing with a G. We go fishing. We don't have a G in that. So fishinfranks.com. Now, this is Grassy Point over here. You want to zoom out just for a minute?
Sure.
I'm going to...
Let me get there. Hold on.
Yeah, no.
Well, the problem is that I brought up my email and then I blocked out the rest of my screen. So there we go. Zoom it out.
So, no, I want to get just Grassy Point here real quick.
Just Grassy Point.
Okay, that's good. Perfect right there. See how the sandbar runs along here? There's a drop-off right there. It's only about that big, but it's a drop-off. Fish would run the drop-off. Go on to the next place.
All right, next place would probably be Spring Lake Park.
Okay.
Get in there a little bit tighter. There we go.
Now, Spring Lake Park, you've got a boat ramp here, and then there is a small dock here. Conversely, where would East Spring Lake be? Be here somewhere. I think, oh, here it is. There's a park here on this side, and there's a little kayak launch right here. And that little kayak launch, you can fish out there, but when you're standing at the kayak launch looking out, that's a small island. It looks like shore, but it's not. It's just a little island. And as you see it come around in front of you, on the left side of that, the right half is very shallow. It just runs flat right up to the mangroves. But on the left side, you've got a real nice trough that goes all the way through there. And that trough will hold redfish. Probably 3 out of 10 times you go there, you'll find a redfish. It's not great, but it is an opportunity. Better than zero.
Okay.
Spring Lake, few trout, some ladyfish, some snappers up along the shoreline. And occasionally you get a lot of snook will come through here. And there are other structures right there that might hold a lot of snook. Let you figure that one out. Where are we going now?
All right, that's going to bring us into the general.
We're
Port
missing
Charlotte
Robert.
Canals.
Robert's usually one who talks to everybody, knows all this stuff. We really need your email reports because Robert's been very sick, as you heard on last week's fishing report. And the store is jammed up busy. And Robert, okay, he'll do the YouTube thing. He wants to run the store. That's what Robert wants to do. He wants to work in the store. He don't care about our radio shows. He don't care about our podcast. He wants to work in the store. That's where he likes to be.
And we convince him sometimes
Come on.
to show up with us, but
And
it's not
much
really his
better
plan.
with Robert than without Robert. But we're going to do the best we can. What are we looking at now?
We are in the Port Charlotte Canals general area.
You've got quite a bit of snook, mostly smaller ones, but a few excessive ones. And the bigger ones are a lot of times closer to 41. They tend to go all the way to the end of the canal or hang out near the mouths of the canals. You would think, because they show up at the top and the bottom of the canals, that there would be more in the center. Most of the center is smaller ones. Snook tend to pick a spot and they'll stay within a half a mile of that. They're very homebody fish. Snooker and sandbrim are really the only two fish that grow up and live as adults in Charlotte Harbor. Now, I know there's a bunch of minor species that do that, but as far as our game fish goes, snook is the only one that actually grows up here and lives here until they get starting to get over 40 inches. And then, like most old people, they get an RV and they just start cruising around the world. I tried that. I came back to do YouTube stuff. I don't know. I don't need to travel anymore. I've traveled Europe. I've fished Europe, North America, Central America. I've fished so many different places. I like it here. I really like it here. I keep coming back. No matter how far I go, I always end up coming back and traveling around the U.S., Canada, Europe, Central America. I like this area. This is freshwater fishing. This is saltwater fishing. Right out there is deep water fishing. We've got everything.
You got it all.
Is it perfect? No. Could it be better? Yes, sometimes it could be better. But you know what? Still better than most places I've ever been. I love it here. All right. And I've been working at Frank's since 84. I've owned it since 92. Had opportunities to go everywhere, and I took them. But I like it here.
All right.
So, Algebine,
that's where we're going.
we have got so many different fish at Algebine. Tarpon, trout, snook, ladyfish, jacks. Do we have any viewer reports from there?
Not from Eljo, no.
Okay. But the people I've talked to, this area here is its own microclimate. You've got the old railroad trestle that goes on this side, and part of it was used as a pier. The other part they let go derelict. But then you have two bridges with all the pilings on them. Then you have the wooden bumpers underneath. It creates a microclimate that isn't like anywhere else. And the fishing's pretty good. Unfortunately, access is very limited. You can park over by the car wash. There are people parking on this side, on the west side, but 50-50 if you're going to get a ticket parking there. But right now, some really good fishing going on here at Algebine. Coming back out, and we're going to look up here at Tippecanoe Bay. And we've got some reports from people here. Who gave us a report?
Yeah, so let's try and go get that one. We've got David Martindale, who said that he took his kayak out on Samnite Creek, which is, I believe, the body of water right here.
That's where my dad always used to go for sandbrim. And I'm not sure if it's
MRT.
this one or this one or this one, but in this area up here somewhere. But this flows down and goes right into Tippecanoe. And there's what's up in this area.
So he said he had a great time with snook, ended up catching 10 snook and snagging a couple of mullet while he was at it. And he ended up with a couple that were too big and broke him off. So he also hooked into a 4.5 to 5 foot bull shark that bit through his 30-pound fluorocarbon, and a snook that was at least 38 inches. Now, I don't know how you measure a snook that you lose, but, I learned from a charter captain a long time ago that any snook that you lose is the biggest snook you've ever hooked.
Yeah,
So,
well, if he's catching mid-20s and doing real good, and then you add another 10, 12 inches to it, that gets to be hard to control.
Yeah.
Especially from
sometimes
a
you can-
kayak, because it just drags the kayak wherever he wants to go.
and sometimes you can get an idea from how big across the back that fish is,
Yeah.
rather than trying to measure a length, and you can see just what a slob of a fish has just taken your lunch and eaten it. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
And in my opinion, the snook rules are garbage. I think the snook slot is stupid. It's been around for many, many years. It's not helping. Why don't we make the snook rules where you can't keep anything under 40 inches? I would rather be catch and releasing 39 and 3/4 inch fish all day than taking them out of their prime slot. I always say, I'm old. I'm late 60s. I've got kids, grandkids. If I die right now, I've had a great life. It's not an issue. If I had a heart attack right now and fell over, okay, who cares? The old guy's had his life. But if my son died, he's got 3 kids. He's raising a family. He's in great health. He's a commander at a military base. It would be a severe tragedy. Why is fish only the old, the sick, and the decrepit? That'd be like trying to save me and not my son. It would just make no sense, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Let's take fish that are at the end of their life, not in the middle of their life, when they're the strongest, the best spawners. They're ready to go. Let's start taking the old and weak. Let's move the snook slot over 40 inches and let all of the fish go through the stupid slot, because the slot doesn't work. It's not helping. Snook populations have been either steady or declining slightly. They are not growing. So Tallahassee, the ridiculous idiots at FWC, pay attention. If it doesn't work, try something else. Try something else. Let's go taking the old and the weak, not the prime fish. And every argument you have, look it up. It's all from the late 80s, and you haven't changed your mind since the 80s. It doesn't work. Anyway, going on to the next spot, which is down the west wall. Sorry, I get bitchy when I'm tired. And I'm tired. I've been working every day. But
That's why I'm not even arguing with you about it. I have an argument, but I'm not even going to make it.
oh, they have more eggs, and they do this. And no, it's all bull.
Yeah.
I've been listening to that crap since the 80s. And if anybody had changed their mind or came up with a new argument, I might listen. But if all you can spout off is stuff for the last 30 years, no. Try something new. It would be better. And if it didn't work, we can always change it back. But Trout Creek, down here to Muddy Bay, this is the west wall. You notice there's no keys or islands on it. Whereas on the east side, this is all keys and islands. That's why it's not the east wall. It's east side or the east keys. West wall is a wall. So we got redfish at the mouths of some of the little creeks. Not as many snook as you would think. I think the snook have gone past. There are some, but I think they've gone past up into the Myakka River, up the Peace River, into the canal systems where it's warmer. The redfish seem to be dotted along here in much better numbers than what the snook are. But, still not bad. Get one or the other.
Not a bad thing at all.
I don't have any reports from Cape Hayes.
Anything in the South Gulf Cove canals?
I wish I did. Everybody's asking me what's going on in South Gulf Cove. The only thing I've heard from South Gulf Cove is what's going on in South Gulf Cove. As people are coming back, they're asking us, but we're getting no reports there. South Gulf Cove has a great population, really nice folks out there. They've got a civic center, they've got a fishing club, they've got all that, but they're keeping it to themselves. This is their little secret. You access South Gulf Cove up here in the Myakka River, you go through the locks, and you got to come all the way down, and you can get all around here. If you go off this way, get under I-771, you got freshwater back there. You've got bass fishing way up in the back. So you've got freshwater, saltwater. Very cool environment. I mean, if you've got a small boat with a trolling motor on it, you can have some amazing fishing adventures back there. But nobody's talking about it.
Yeah. Well, they've been pretty consistent with the reports of the Mayan cichlids and tilapia, at least. So I think that's what's going on for sure.
Maybe, but Robert's the only one who hears that. Every time I talk to somebody from South Gulf Cove, they're asking me what's going on, and they're not helping me find it. And Robert's not here, so
yep,
best I can do.
All right, the Cape Hayes bar then.
Nothing
at the Cape Hayes.
You
bar.
have a viewer report from Bull Bay, Turtle Bay?
I do. Can you move out of the way? Because you're blocking all of Turtle Bay with yourself there. Yes. There we go.
This is Turtle Bay up through here. And Bull Bay is actually this area here, from the inside of Cayo Palau up to the islands and around here. Most people consider all of this as Bull Bay.
Yeah. So the report we have in Bull Bay comes to us from Veni Ngangoro, who says that he was catching trout pretty good in 3 feet of water before the front, but then that front came through and they went deeper or to a better area because his catching became a lot more difficult. He said he tried shallow, tried deeper, tried areas with current, with slower current, but he only managed to get a couple of fish here and there. And he says he thinks he realized his mistake, that he probably should have slowed it down, and he didn't slow it down enough.
All right. If you're going to fish there and you like popping corks, because they're great on trout, or the DOA deadly tandem, where you're throwing 2 jigs at once, one follows the other one. And so whether it's the tandem or the DOA, popping corks or clackers or deadly combo, when the water's a little bit warmer and the fish are very, very active, I use the DOA. Now, when the fishing, like he's describing, slows down, switch to the one without the weight where it's easy to cast. What are those ones called in the front of the store we've got hanging there? But we've got similar to the DOA Deadly Tandem, no shrimp, just the bobber. But they're right up at the front of the store. They have 2 or 3 brass beads on the bottom as weight, and then they've got some plastic beads on the top. And what that does is when you're cast it out, those brass beads are so light, it just takes forever for it to tilt up. And then when you pop it, it takes a long time for it to reset. I use those at this time of year when I have to fish slower. 80% of the year I'm using the DOA bobbers and clackers. They've got a ½ ounce of lead. You throw it, as soon as you pop, it instantly resets. It's amazing. But the other ones in front of the store without the lead weights in them and just the brass BBs or beads to reset them to get them to come back to where you can pop it again, slows you down enough where you're going to catch more fish. If you do it too fast like you can with a DOA, you're going to miss those fish until the water warms back up a touch. When the fronts go through, I do the ones I don't like to use, but they help me slow down to catch fish.
Well, that can definitely be a good thing, because otherwise it's really hard to slow yourself down for more than like 1 or 2 casts, because you fall right back into your pattern of this is how I always fish.
I throw the DOA Deadly Combo so much, I'm used to it. I know I can pop it. I can do 2 or 3 pops in a row. I can do all this stuff. But when you get a front or a little excessive cold, I switch to the ones that don't have the weight. They're hard to cast. And if you add weight to the bottom of it so you can cast it easy, it puts you back. You might as well just keep using the DOA.
Yeah.
So trying to use those, people use them all the time, but God, they've got more patience than me.
It's kind of like the way that I'll fish.
What
I
are they,
still will
Bombay or
use
something like that?
my 1/4 ounce jig heads, but if I'm teaching other people how to fish, I tell them when it gets cold like this or when it gets really warm, you want to switch to an 1/8 or maybe even a 1/16 ounce
I
jig
just
head,
use a hook when it's like this. Because as soon as I put that extra weight on there, they reset too quick. So I'm just using a hook under those, where the DOA, I can use a hook, I can use a jig head, use the fake shrimp, which is usually what I'm doing, is using the DOA shrimp with the bobber, because I catch as many fish as I do with live bait. So anyway, going up to our next spot, Gasparilla Sound. I know the fishing's good. Come, I want to see Three Sisters. We're almost there, and it's right on the
I'll
bottom.
zoom it right in here.
Yeah. There we go. Three
There's
Sisters.
Three
Nope,
Sisters
nope,
for
nope,
you.
nope, nope, nope. There you go. But no,
Do
just
you like that?
no.
No,
I
you
want
don't
to
want
see
that?
up
You want
Gasparilla
this?
Sound.
That's what
there
you
you
want?
go. Stop.
All of Gasparilla Sound?
Right there.
Plus Three
Because
Sisters?
that's what we're doing.
There it is right there.
Okay. Now,
Why do you keep yelling at me? I'm showing you Gasparilla Sound and you just won't
back
stop
up
yelling.
a little bit? Widen out just a little bit. Okay. You got Devilfish Key here. We've got Three Sisters here. Coming up, this is the Placida area. We've got fish traveling the intercoastal. And what fish like to do is overnight in the very deep waters of the intercoastal. They'll hug the bottom, and then as soon as the sun comes out, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, they're going to start moving back here onto the flats, whether it's on this side or that side. This is the ideal conditions for this time of year. Very deep water in the intercoastal waterway, the ICW, going up to very shallow water very close to it. So they can overnight where the water temperature is not going to change. Then, as the sun cooks onto the water, they can go up and lay in the grass and absorb that sunlight. Just like me, I get up in the morning, I sit on the porch, I got my coffee, I got a blanket over me. I'm, the definition of, the old man and the blanket and all that. And then as the sun starts coming up, I get the blanket, grab my coffee, I go sit in the front porch, I lay in the sun like an overfed lizard and enjoy it. And the fish are the same way. That's how it works. So deep water to overnight in, shallow water to get warm in, trout, ladyfish, puffers. We got some jacks going through here. You've got a bit of snook around Three Sisters, and all of the docks along Gasparilla are holding some fish. Anywhere where you have a pass between two islands on this side, you get a little extra depth of water, huge amounts of snook.
Okay. That will move us to Placida. See, that's what I was trying to do, was show us Gasparilla Sound and hide Placida at the same time.
I wanted to see the whole thing. I'm greedy. I want it all.
I know.
I want it all.
I know how you are.
All right. Yes, I'm that way.
There we go. There's all of Placida.
Okay. With Placida, this is the car bridge, otherwise called the causeway. You've got a swing bridge here where is it drawbridge or a swing bridge now?
So it's a swing.
Swing. So it will go sideways. You've got bumpers on both sides of the swing bridge. You can't fish in between the bumpers at all, but on the outside, you can fish pretty good. All along the old railroad trestle. This is how they used to bring the phosphate. This was a railroad trestle. They made this end and this end into a fishing pier, but most of that's wrecked. We hear they are going to start working on it someday. Problem is, it's in Charlotte County and they're not doing anything. But maybe they will. Hopefully they will.
Maybe.
I would
will.
really like to be wrong and have them actually do stuff, and I could be proud of them. But
yeah, what a great thing to be proved wrong on.
It would be great for me to, oh, look at this. It's fixed. It's beautiful and I'm ready to fish.
What a delicious crow to have to eat.
And the thing that bothers me is the commissioners think that maybe because they got elected, people want to move here. To be quite honest, guys, nobody cares if you're in office. What they care about is access to the water. Why do you get 4 to 6 times the property taxes or 10 times the property taxes to live in Charlotte County than they do, say, in Avon Park or Wauchula? Maybe it's the water. Maybe it's the canals. Maybe the harbor, the intercoastal, the Gulf. Maybe that's what brings value. Not that you were elected. Nobody cares that you were elected. I don't think anybody ever looks up and goes, oh, look who was elected in Charlotte County. We're going to go there. They look at the water. Let's give back to the people who you are supposed to serve. Put the piers back up. Get the ramps. Get everything fixed. First priority. I told you I'm tired. I've been working every day for the last few weeks.
I believed you.
So I'm grouchy. I'm going to bitch. That's just the way I am. I'm going to complain.
All right, here's Lemon Bay. You want to complain about that too?
Actually, no. Lemon Bay is doing pretty good. You have so many. We think of it as just this bay, but there's canals, there's creeks, there's all this stuff that uh, the fish can go in and out of. It's a mini version of Charlotte Harbor because you've got the clear flats, you've got the intercoastal waterway with depth, you've got the Gulf right. So you got the Gulf of Mexico, you come through a pass, and then they've got all this amazing water in here. With the drought, this is clearing up. It's getting nicer and nicer. As it rains, so many creeks, rivers, canals all pump water into this. It gets very dark, but the water's nice now. Fish are moving in. Early morning, probably not the best bet. You avoid other boaters because they're smart enough to wait till 10 o'clock when the water warms up and the fish are actually biting. But you've got mackerel running through the ICW. You've got some trout scattered here amongst. There is some snapper activity going on. Occasionally, some pompano going through. But most of the fish are going through. They're not coming to hang out and live. The grass flats are starting to come back as the grass gets more abundant with the drought because photosynthesis is required for grass growth. You will see a lot more fish hanging out here, more redfish, more trout, more of the everything. But it's still just getting going. The water was murky and dark for so long, a lot of the grass has faded back. But it is coming up, and that's going to bring fish that will actually hang out. For right now, you're just kind of ambushing them as they're going through. Who's next?
That would be this great big body of water out to the
I
west.
don't have much reports from the Gulf. I wish I did. I know the guys that are fishing in 100 feet of water were complaining they're not catching grouper, they're catching red snapper. And there's a lot of American red snappers out there, much more so than the grouper. All their good grouper spots have been overrun by the big red snappers. And normally you don't complain about it, but when the season's not open, it gets to be a problem. You want to catch grouper, you want to have, that big dinner to come back with. Snapper fishing's doing reasonably well, but I wish I could tell you more about it. Hopefully next week we'll have some really good offshore reports.
So I did
Please,
talk
if
to...
you're going offshore, Frank at fishandfranks.com. Send us some information.
I did talk to somebody who was fishing on some smaller rock piles out around 5 miles. And he told me that he was getting some nice lane snapper and porgies up to about 3 pounds.
That's nice porgies.
Yeah.
Porgies are really good eating, very underrated fish.
Yeah, and he said those spots that he fishes usually are porgy spots. So.
Very cool.
And he keeps them secret so nobody gets to know where they are.
Yeah, well, when you send us reports, if you could send us about how many miles out or what depth of water, but we don't need GPS numbers, but people can figure it out if they know about how far out to go and what's going on out there. And if people are sending us this, you start sending us these Gulf reports, more people will send them. It will give you more information. And even though gas is getting cheaper, it's still not cheap to go out in the Gulf.
But if you say, we were 30 miles out of Boca Grande. Okay, well, what does that mean? That means somewhere between here and here, because maybe you were in Boca Grande Pass.
Anywhere
maybe
in
you're
these
out over
areas
here.
here.
I don't think people are going to snarf your spot. In other words, if you say we were 30 miles out of Boca Grande, or we were in 110 feet of water.
But we can help each other, and because if the fish are hitting shallower, you don't have to run to 100 feet. But the only way we'll be able to get this and help each other is if we get the reports, non-specific, but just kind of miles out or depth of water, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, just the basics. That's all we're asking for.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the Venice Jetties and the Venice Pier.
Got nothing.
Don't know
a thing.
Reportos.
This time of year, historically, a lot of small snook, bigger snooks back on the bridges, but...
And you should have the sheepshead bite starting to fire up pretty good, but... without the reports, it's hard to be sure of any of this. So, let's go ahead and take it down.
Nothing down to Punta Gorda, nothing for redfish. I don't have any reports on Captiva. I know Boca was doing pretty good.
Well, hold on now. Hold on now. Don't be jumping the gun here, because I got a report for you right here.
Oh,
A report that comes to us from Jonathan Fortune, who said just outside of Tarpon Bay. Can you point to Tarpon Bay there, Frank?
I'm not sure.
Tarpon Bay is this thing here.
Oh, down here?
Yeah.
Boy, I
there's
haven't
Tarpon
fished
Bay.
there for probably 20 years. 20 years ago, I had a lot of fun going back up in here, but I haven't been there for a long time.
So he was just outside of the bay, close to the shallow mouth, and he was acting as the fishing guide. His wife caught 6 different species in 35 minutes during an incoming tide. She got sheepshead, redfish, snook, barracuda, ladyfish, and snapper, just fishing a shrimp on a 1/0 hook underneath a popping cork with 20-pound fluorocarbon, just drifting over by the mangroves.
That's from Jonathan?
This is from Jonathan Fortune, and we have some photos here
Cool.
to share. Now,
That's what I enjoy the photos, you know.
Oh yeah, who doesn't?
Okay.
So these photos are
That's
of
a
the fish
Senate,
they
isn't
caught.
it?
This is a juvenile great barracuda.
Is it? I thought it would be a Senate.
Look at the tail. You see how the tail is kind
Gotcha.
of whale tail shaped?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very
It's got the
distinctive on
scallops
those.
through it, where the
Yep.
Senate's more straight V.
Yep. And once you start looking at little barracudas and you see that, then you'll start to notice that there's a difference in the head shape too. But the tail one is the easiest one for most people to see because it's quick.
Yeah, I would have
So-
misidentified it as a Senate, judging by where he caught it and how big it is.
Yep. Here is her sheep's head that she caught.
That's
It's a very nice
awesome.
fish.
What's her name, did she say?
His wife is her name.
His wife.
Yes.
Congratulations,
Hi, Jonathan's
his
wife.
Very cool.
So here's a snooklet. They're always
Nice.
fun. And here's a red fishlet.
Yeah.
She's very cleverly covering up the spot there, so you have to make a decision on whether that's a redfish or a whiting.
That's a
which
redfish.
People definitely get them confused all the time, but yeah, that's definitely a redfish. So yeah, but that's definitely a nice sheepy right there.
Way to
That
go.
one's
I mean,
Worth being pleased about. So
yeah, she's rocking it. Congratulations, his wife.
good job.
Good job.
All right. So yeah, that's all the photos that we were sent this week, but that's okay. We can make
That's
do.
really good. We haven't had much reports down here. I was getting ready to skip it, but that's very cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Now, of course, I have to type up a thing here, so you talk a little bit there.
Can you go up to Boca Grande Pass?
Sure, I can.
Where I can talk about, or Gasparilla Sound a little bit, but I don't. Where do we usually go, Matlacha or Boca?
We go through the passes.
I don't have anything until I hit Boca, and it's very limited.
All right. So let's just look at Boca, and you can talk while I type a little bit here.
All right, there's basically in Boca Grande Pass right now. Tarpon had kind of backed off. It been heading south, but I've had a couple reports of the tarpon here. The guys are using the speed jigs, the vertical jigs, slow pitch jigs. It's becoming a real thing. It's really amazing how that's turning out. But we're hearing some nice sheephead reports everywhere from around the oil docks down on the end of the island to the phosphate dock remnants that are still out here. Few Goliath grouper being caught, but mostly we know the Goliath grouper are there because they are fishing sheephead and all of a sudden something just goes bam and they're gone. Yeah. So with the rod hitting the water, people barely holding on, the line popping, usually that's 100, 200 pound Goliath. So while no direct reports of the Goliath, we have, circumstantial evidence. Back along the southern part over here, we're hearing some mangrove snappers through this area and in this trough, more so than along the edge out here. But some different grouper species, mostly smaller, being caught in the pass. And let's see if my mouse still works. Oh, no, I'm going to go Matlacha or wherever we're going next.
Okay. Why don't you see if your mouse works? Let's see if you can do it.
Ooh.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Oh. Of course, we usually go walking the Gulf beaches next, but...
Oh, well... Josh, I can't do it. My mouse. My mouse don't work.
What have you done, Frank?
Trashing
this
the whole thing.
This is the desert. We don't want to see the desert.
I have to come in and practice with that mouse. Running it against the green screen. And
yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah, you're...
Yep.
You've got the main controls and... Okay. Matlacha, I don't really have any reports.
Do we have anything for the surf?
I don't have anything from walking the beaches except, wait a minute,
Okay.
it's re-hitting my brain up close to, you don't have to change anything because I can get it here. Minnesota Key down to Stump Pass, Milton Pass and all that in that area. The pompano are going by. We've got whiting going up and down the shorelines. They don't seem to be congregated anywhere. Have you ever been deer hunting out there, boys and girls? If you've been deer
At
hunting,
Englewood Beach, no.
what?
At Englewood Beach, no. I have not been deer hunting there.
Yes. Well, thank you for that insight. But if you're from up north or in the south and you do some hunting, when people tend to go hunting, they go along a railroad track, an open field, and they're sitting there waiting for a deer to go by. And that's what it's like along the beaches right now. What's happening is you're out there fishing and you're hoping while you're there, the fish are going by. There's not a lot of structure with everything going on to hold fish in any one of the certain spots, but they're traveling from north to south, from south to north. They're going along looking for food. So if you and the fish show up at the same time, it's been great. But it's hit or miss. They're not, this is where you can go and find the fish. You find a place, you set up an ambush, and hopefully the fish go by while you're there. It's very similar right now to when I was a kid, we would go deer hunting, and you're standing next to a field along a railroad track waiting for a deer to go by. And then hopefully you get your try at them. But it's the same thing along the beaches right now. We're not seeing anything that I've heard of where there's fish, but there is schools going up and down the shoreline, feeding on different stuff, coming in very close to get bait, going out. So, but you're in an ambush situation. 50-50 if you're going to have just a great sightseeing day or a great catching time. When the catch starts, it usually lasts 15 minutes to an hour, depending upon which species is going by, whether it's whiting or pompano or ladyfish, jacks, whatever they happen to be. Blue runners have been going up and down the shore too.
Now, how do you feel about tide and beach fishing? Do you like a higher tide with the idea that more stuff can't be buried in the sand, hidden away from the fish, or?
No, I just go whenever I have the chance. Fishing along the Gulf Beach, I've never paid attention to the tide because we don't have enough tide to really make extreme come in or going out. We're only exchanging a half a foot. On a big day, we exchange 2.5 feet of water.
Mm-hmm.
If we had a 4 foot a day tide change or 6 or 8, I would pay more attention to the tide, but I haven't found the variant incoming, outgoing, high, low to be that beneficial or detrimental.
Okay. Now we
you?
can go to Matlacha.
Have you?
No, not really, but I've never been that focused in on beach fishing. It's been kind of a, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go to the beach today and see if I can catch a fish. So,
And
but I have talked to people who do get very focused in on it and who will tell you that the high tide is the time that they prefer to go. I just haven't had that much
Personal
experimentation with it. So just wondering to see if you had.
yeah, neither have I. I've just, okay, we're going to go out to the beach and walk along and catch fish. I just know I catch most of my fish within 5 to 15 feet of the shore, 10 feet. And throwing out, occasionally I do very, very well on some big fish. Most of the time, that's just to make me feel better. I'm catching the fish left or right of me. I catch much less fish going out, but when I do catch some, it can be amazing fish.
Yeah, and I did that once with my mom and my aunt, where it's like the one time ever that I saw my mom holding a fishing rod and actually trying to catch a fish, because she was a very girly girl. She was not that kind of a person at all.
That's the way my grandma was.
But we had gone to the beach, and my mom was there, my aunt was there. They each had a fishing rod in their hand. They're both fishing with live shrimp, and my aunt she's the fisherwoman, right? So she's casting out.
Is that the aunt that I know?
Yes, Cindy.
His aunt is amazing. I mean, literally, his aunt tells stories and is a very complete person. I mean, she's amazing. I didn't know your mom very well at all, but your aunt I've known much better.
Yeah.
But his aunt is one of the most amazing people you ever meet. If you ever get her telling stories, hang around for a while.
So she's teaching mom how to fish, and her method is you cast straight out from the beach as far as you can,
Right.
and let the thing just sit there on the bottom. And she's catching catfish. Catfish after catfish after catfish after catfish. And I told mom, okay, because she doesn't like the idea of the catfish. The catfish are slimy,
Right.
and just, and she won't hold one for a photo. And I need a photo of her holding a fish for once in her life. So I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. You're going to cast along the beach, and you're just going to reel it straight and steady. And she casts along the beach, and she reels it straight and steady. And about 10 feet before she picks up the shrimp, a snook grabs it.
Right.
And it's the only snook that she caught that day. It's the only snook that anybody caught that day. But I've got a picture of her. It was on the cover of Waterline years ago. She's holding up a snook, maybe 15 inches long. And it was just the greatest.
No,
So-
it's absolutely awesome. But it's true. Most people, I was talking to this very nice gentleman there, and I got these 9-foot whatever, and I'm going to be using these. And I'm like, bud, you might want to drop that down to 6'6", 7 foot. Maybe a 7.5, but 7 foot usually, because you catch more fish close to shore than you do out away from it. Oh, well, I got these, and he's just absolutely certain that that's the way to go. And I said, it might be. This could work out for you, but you might, see how it works throwing along the shore as well as out and see how you do. And well, I'm going to go out there and I can really throw. And he was so convinced he couldn't hear. And I wasn't selling him anything. He literally, not a pack of hooks, not sinkers. He just wanted to come in and talk about what he was going to do. But the difference was he didn't want to, he sort of wanted to talk with me, but he sort of just wanted to tell me what he was going to do.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people fall into that where, they'll tell you that they want your opinion, that they want your advice, but really what they want to hear is the thing that they were already going to do come out of your mouth.
Right.
And they can't hear anything else.
And it was funny because there was a young guy in, and he had just got a boat, and he's just going out he's been out in the boat twice, and he came in, he was getting some bait, and he was telling me where he was going. I was giving him some advice about that area, places I'd caught fish and stuff like that. And he literally listened to everything I said, and I take it back. I don't know if he actually heard anything I said. And he finally ended up saying, well, I'm going to go here and do this. I said, that's the best thing you could do.
Absolutely.
That's where I would have sent you.
No better
That's
plan.
the best way to go.
I don't
Go
know
right
why
there.
I didn't say
That's
that
great.
first, because that was obviously the right answer.
Yeah, it was just, it's kind of interesting because I think people just want validation, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
This is what you want to do. My only point with the one guy was you may want to, okay, that's a good idea, but maybe add this to what you're going to do and, see if that is beneficial for you or not. But he was pretty much laser focused. I guess he had been not down here long, and he'd been reading the internet and doing YouTube videos and all this.
And he sunk all that time into making the plan for what he was going to do. And then he came in, and probably in his mind, this is what you told him he should do also. So if it failed, there's as good a chance as any that he blamed you for it.
Yeah. When he goes out and doesn't catch fish, he's going to say, Fisher Frank knows nothing about what he's talking about. And I'm okay with all that. I like people going. I have no reports on Matlacha or this area. I have not talked to anybody. Robert's usually one that hears this. I'm sorry, we just don't. We're going to need more reader reports. We need Robert not to be sick. We're giving talks at the boat show. We've got Berkeley doing tournament captains meetings and the weigh-ins, and Josh has got three fishing classes he just started. Oh no, we didn't overbook the first 2 weeks of January.
Not a bit.
We've had over 7,000 people go through the store. We got people on vacation, people out sick. So no,
it's fine. We're here,
fine,
aren't we?
But help help. Frank at fishandfranks.com. Get us some reports. So when Robert isn't here to tell us this stuff, we've got other stuff to work with.
All right. Pine Island Sound would be
Thank
the
you for
next spot
everybody who
on
did
here.
it. We're absolutely humbled by your reports.
Pine Island Sound is the next spot. Do we have anything?
No, I basically all I've got out of this is PGI. East side has got trout on it. If you want to just
let's
jump
go
to the east side
then.
here quick.
Here we go.
All right, here. Whoa, stop.
I'm
Alligator
showing
Creek's
you where
up
the east side
here.
is. Settle
Pirate
down.
Harbor's here. You got Burnt Store down to Two Pines, but the part we talk about in this is from Pirate Harbor up to Alligator Creek. Do we have a report from?
I've got a couple from Alligator Creek. Do you have anything from the Pirate Harbor area or the East Side Keys before I move on to those?
Basically, there are some trout and bonnet sharks on the flats right here above Pirate Harbor, and we're hearing more and more snook reports and a little bit more redfish around the islands, but spotty reports at best.
Okay, spotty. Typing. See, this is when you could launch into one of your stories about, I don't know. What
Oh, this is when I
usually
should
talk about.
launch into something about something over here. Okay.
That's fine. I'm done typing now, so we're going to move on to Alligator Creek. You took
Yeah,
too long.
sorry. We're still working on this timing thing. Josh and Robert worked together for what, 10, 13 years, something?
40, 50 years, something like that.
Forever. Robert and I worked together forever. But Josh and I, outside of doing some seminars, basically where he was talking or I was talking, we're learning how to work together. And the timing, you don't get to be Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon, or Ed McMahon and Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon. You've got to work this stuff out, and it takes time. And thank you guys so much for enjoying this. But we literally thought we would quietly put videos together, learn our timing, figure out how to use the equipment. But
All right.
people are looking at it.
We are
Yes.
in Rock Creek. Rock Creek or Rocky Creek?
Rock
Creek, okay. Rocky Creek from Vinny and Ngongoro again. Incoming tide got his first redfish of the season, which was only 16 inches, but that's okay. Using a small white paddle tail with a slow, steady retrieve. Needs to figure out what he did right and replicate it, because there were large schools of small redfish that were easily spooked. So he's got some fish in there. He's just trying to figure out what it's going to take to get him to eat.
Well, up in here in Rock Creek, and this is Rock Creek. Rocky's a different one. But Rock Creek, it's hard fish. I explained it out in one of the videos a little bit on how you get your boat in and everything. But pieces of shrimp, half a shrimp tail peeled, and a small circle hook. Please don't use J hooks back there. If you get further up past the bends, you get back up in here, you can switch to whole shrimp or J hooks if you want. But the whole first section, it's too many small fish, and these fish can suck a bait in, digest it, and start to poop it out before you can set the hook. They're quick, and we don't want to kill them. Catch a few is fine, but killing them is not. So inline circles, not offset. No J hooks. I hate circle hooks. I don't ever like to use them because I'm very good setting a hook. I think you should go with your skill sets. But in this case, I can't even do it. And just, inline circles, number 2, pieces of peeled shrimp meat. Little redfish love them, but it's so hard to get into. This time of year, you've got maybe 10 inches of water to get back in here. It is tough. Couple 2-3 months from now, the fishing won't be quite as good, but it will still be good, but you'll have water to get in there. But it's going to be a little while. Alligator Creek itself, we've got trout, you've got a lot of snook where the old marina is. You've got a lot of snappers here in front of the marina. Over at the got a restaurant there, Riviera Oyster Bar. Nice folks, good food. Around their docks, some amazing snook going on.
And Michael Young is confirming that, says that he trolled down Alligator Creek without a strike until he hit the point at the Riviera and caught a 20-inch snook there, and then fished the basin behind the Riviera for about an hour with shrimp and caught 4 smaller snook in the 14-inch range.
And the new canal going into PGI is just starting to get good. I was talking to a guy. I can't tell you what he did because he asked me not to talk about it, but what an eye on this guy. he recognized the water pattern, saw what it meant, and caught fish, a lot of them. But without having the ability to read the water and see how it's moving and what's causing what, he would have never caught those fish. I was very impressed with the guy. I'm not going to give away his secret, but good fishing. Yeah. But you got to be smarter in the water.
Now, he also said, Michael Young also said that there were some small sheepshead and some black drum in the outer rim canal in BSI, in Burnt Store Isles, which is kind of an extension of Alligator Creek.
Mm-hmm. And that's Michael, right?
Yeah, Michael Young.
Thank you, Michael. We really appreciate that. It helps so much. If you can, Michael, take a couple pictures and send it in to us. We'd love to see the pictures. It's always more fun when you got pictures. We love the written reports. They're amazing. But we get a little picture or video. You're welcome to do videos, whatever you like. We could use help with this because, like right now, I don't think we've got much. This week is ridiculous, but I think next week it kind of slows down a little bit. Hopefully, we'll be able to get better reports.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. So.
All right, Ponce de Leon Park.
Ponce Park, a lot of small snappers and sheephead, occasionally some snook, and but we're hearing reports of it. But if you want to walk along this edge, the north edge, you can park, and instead of going in the fishing pier, if you don't mind getting your feet wet, you can walk right along this. It's very hard packed sand and very nice walking, and cast into the channel here. You get trout, more fish than once you start getting up in the canals. You've got so many rods and people fishing, but along here, these are fish that are passing through the canal that you can ambush as they go in and out.
All right, brings us to the PGI canals and Punta Gorda general area. Now, I do have a report for us here. It's kind of an Alligator Creek report, actually. Okay. And maybe I should have mentioned it at that point because it's over here at Buckley Pass.
Darn you, Josh.
Well, you know, it's kind of Alligator Creek, but it's kind of not. So it's, you know, it's one of those that
is there a name for that canal or pass or whatever?
It's called Buckley Pass.
Buckley. Okay.
And this one comes to us again from Vinny Ngangoro. Said on the incoming tide at Buckley Pass, setting up here in the side canals off the main canal. So I guess that's this one here and then this one here. The trout were thick as fleas as on an old dog. That's pretty thick.
Thick as fleas on an old dog.
Yeah, that's a lot. Said cast anything you want upstream and take up slack slowly to keep it on the bottom. He and his wife caught 25 of them in less than an hour. Live bait, paddle tails, dead bait, and even empty hooks. They would hit anything and everything.
And his name again?
That's Vinny Ngangoro.
Vinny gets around.
He does. Vinny sent us multiple reports.
Yeah.
So
thank you, Vinny. You're awesome, man. And between him and his wife, they're rocking the fish.
And he's giving us pretty specific information here, which we're sharing the information that we're given. If you want your information to be less specific, then share us less specific information.
Yeah, we're only going to say what you tell us to say.
Yeah.
My spots, my fish, I don't mind sharing. I get very specific about it. We're going to have a whole website with very detailed on every spot you can imagine as we get to them. That'll probably be a subscriber site because too many people on the internet complain when I share stuff. But if you're paying by the month, you probably won't complain. Then I'm giving you top secret specific points and information.
And hey, if you want to pay by the month and complain too,
cool. As long as you're paid by the month, you can complain all you want.
That's fine.
It's been going back up. What do we got left?
Alligator Creek Reef. We had any reports there?
Yeah, the reef has been doing okay. There is some small groupers starting to be on the reef. They're undersized for the most part.
Are they gags or?
Gags, some Goliath. There's they just started out. I had a guy out there and he was fishing shrimp right on the bottom where the posts are. He was fishing around one of the pilings and he caught a couple baby grouper there. A few small sheephead have showed up, but they're not much. Some snappers, you got Spanish mackerel going over the reef. Cobia still hitting there by the reef. Uh, the reef and the middle hole have been the better ones for Spanish mackerel right now. They should be scattering out through the whole harbor. It's so weird because when I do this, I'm thinking it's the other way. I'm still not used to stupid green screen thing. Is there a way of showing them what this actually looks like that I'm standing by?
To see the actual green screen itself?
Yeah, just to show them.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's possible or not.
No, it's very possible. Give me a second, and
Show you what I'm actually standing by.
I will show you that, and
all right,
there you go.
This is what it looks like when I'm pointing at stuff. Got me and this green wall. Over there, yeah, right there,
yeah.
is a 65-inch TV with the camera mounted to the side of it. Because of the glasses is because I should be looking. Am I looking?
You should be looking right here.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Put your finger up right there again. Okay.
Right there.
There.
There you
and
go.
See, I'm actually looking at his finger, and I'm not looking at his finger on the screen.
No.
So nothing is the way it seems, hence the glasses, so that I don't look like, oh, I got a stroke and I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. No, I'm just nuts and I can't do it correctly. So
it's all right, Frank.
What else?
It's okay. All right, so I'm going to write down that there were some Spanish mackerel and 20-foot holes
in the middle hole, and which has 20 feet of water in it, but you can't say the 20-foot hole 1, 2, or 3. You got the 20-foot hole, which is the one up here, just south of Ponce, right.
Getting to where we can see all three.
No, you're good. I'm just waiting. 20-foot hole is right about here in this area. Then you have the reef and the middle hole, which runs in through here, and then the Pirate Harbor hole, which runs right from here down this way. This one is usually pretty good fishing, although nobody goes to it. Because when the commercial shrimpers go through here to rape and pillage and destroy our harbor, not the bait guys, they do it nice, they do it shallow water, short pulls, but these big boats will drag huge nets and just drag everything. If they pick up a chair, a boat, old refrigerator, the top of somebody's house, they've pretty much decided they dump that stuff in the deep water on the Pirate Harbor hole. So if the structure hasn't broken down, and the only time they're really in the harbor is Texas, Louisiana, and all them up there close their shrimping down for a few months a year until there's enough shrimp to replenish. Now, Florida should have a closure on the same time for commercial shrimping, food shrimp, as Texas, Louisiana, all that. They would keep the boats from coming here. They usually stay out in the Gulf and, rape, pillage the Gulf. But if it gets rough or windy, they come into the harbor and they don't have anything to do, so they just drag up and down the harbor. This is an estuary. Why are they allowed to drag giant shrimp nets there?
Indeed.
Doesn't make any sense. But it would make our fishing a lot better on the reefs, everywhere else, if nobody was dragging. If it's a small local shrimper, he's not going to do enough damage. He's got a 12-foot net. He can drag up and down there all night and do very little damage. But a big boat who's got a 100-foot net, 50 foot, 30 foot, they're illegal, but nobody from the Marine Patrol knows how to measure a net, so they don't know if they're illegal or not. All the guys who could do that have retired.
Brings us into the bait fish report. I'm assuming we got no bait fish reports.
I don't have any bait fish reports.
How about a freshwater report?
Pinfish down around Pine Island.
Pinfish around Pine Island?
They didn't mention where, but we do have a new pinfish supplier at the bait shop, and he's going to be coming twice a week. He's trying to get enough. Once we have a steady supply, we can sell about 2,500 pinfish a week. But right now he's bringing us a few dozen each trip. So he comes in, first 4 people show up, they're gone. as he can expand his operation, we should be able to get pinfish more often. Hopefully, until he quits.
which is how many weeks?
You never know. All right. Anything else we're looking at?
That's bringing us to the freshwater report, and once again, David Martindale has got something for us.
Yay, David.
He took his grandson fishing on a freshwater canal at 41 in Chamberlain, caught 31 bass on Tuesday before the front, won about 14 inches, and he also caught 9 in 3 hours. So that's not terrible bass fishing.
That's pretty damn good bass fishing. I know people that would drive quite a ways to see bass fishing like that.
Yep. No idea what he was catching them on, and that's okay. But if I had to make a bet, my bet would be on shiners.
Probably, but yeah. We're getting a lot of requests for worms, minnows, shiners, all that. Unfortunately, we got to find another supplier. The one we've been using for years hasn't shown up for 2 weeks. So hopefully they're here in a day or so. If not, I'll be on the phone. It's very hard to find suppliers for that now.
And the last thing would be the tarpon reports, but I don't anticipate we have any of that going on, and maybe not for the next, couple of months.
I would say it could be a week. The weather's supposed to be getting warmer and warmer, and it only takes a couple of days for them to show up. So
it's true, but they also have to have a reason to come back in mass in order for us to
the shrimp
get excited about
migration is
catching.
still going on. That's going to last into March. You know, it's slowing down. December, January is the peak of the migration. All the shrimp leaving the harbor, going to live in the Gulf. So they still have the shrimp to feed on. If it warms up now, there'll be a bunch of them back in the pass working the migration.
Yeah, but they still have that shrimp migration all through the 10,000 islands too, because
everywhere from us to the Keys, they're all migrating right now. So they don't have to come here specifically for that, but there's no reason for them not to. If the weather gets warmer. Because some are always going to say, well, it's cool here, but let me go check this out.
Yeah, we'll see what we'll see.
I mean, you see, we drove down a street or a road in, I think it was Alabama, and it's by a fairly good-sized road on the way to I-10. And what was amazing was every chain restaurant I've ever heard of was on that street. There was a main road going south and another one that cut off, and there was a gas station. We parked there, and I looked, and every restaurant that I've ever seen advertised was somewhere in this probably 2-3 mile stretch. I mean, it was amazing. Fast food joints, the Outback styles, the PGI Friday stuff. I mean, every restaurant. The breakfast joints. I mean, there was waffle houses. There was. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And what brought that to mind is with shrimp migrating out of all the passes and everywhere else right now. If you're the guy in the end or the guy in the middle, when you have all those there, people seem to spread out and they rent out all the different restaurants, but. I guess wouldn't it be the same with tarpon? There'd be some in 10,000 Islands, some in this one, some there, some next place.
It feels very possible, but we'd have to interview a tarpon to determine how they actually make that decision.
Well, maybe we can do that when you get your game show out. The
maybe
Think Like a Fish, isn't that what it's called?
That's what it's called, yeah.
Okay. Once you start doing Think Like a Fish, maybe you can get a tarpon to come in and be on the game panel.
I'll send out the invitation for sure.
Okay.
Whether it'll happen, I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well,
and if we have any tarpon that are subscribers, you can email us the information. We'd appreciate it.
So I think that wraps it up for our report. What's the date today?
Today is the 7th of January.
All right. No, today's the 12th or the 10th.
No, it's Friday. Today's the 9th.
Today's the 9th.
Yep.
You keep thinking we're doing this.
Listen, I never know what day it is because, as you know, I did a magazine for 15 years, and I'm always thinking either ahead or behind of what I'm doing.
Yeah,
so I can't pay attention to that.
The good thing is I've been working at the store every day for a few weeks now, and you hear stuff when you're in the store. People are talking to you, telling you about this and that and the next thing, and that's where we get the fishing reports from, just talking to the customers. And I'm Fishing Frank. That's Josh. Robert is usually here, but usually this is Josh and this is Robert. But
Yeah. See,
yeah,
there's where
there's the
Robert
blank
would be,
chair.
but Robert's not there.
And
So.
can you do a shot of the wall there?
Uh,
Can that be the back screen here? The three shot is the back screen?
It no,
No. Okay.
no, it can't.
All right. So anyway, the report, we try and do the harbor up to Venice.
But I mean, I
there
could beam you back
every
in,
Friday.
and then you could
If you
sit
want to
down
beam me
again.
back over so I can get to the chair.
Yeah, let me see if I can
I'm
figure out
getting
how.
ready.
You ready?
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
I'm ready.
All right, let's get me out of here because I don't need to be in there. And there's.
There
Oh,
we
hi,
are.
Frank. So nice to see you.
Landed right in a chair.
Yeah.
Okay.
I aimed you there. It's
You were good.
very specific. Targeting.
Joshy, you did good. You're giving it all it's got, Joshy.
Oh, that's all there is. So,
All right. Any last words?
last words. Geez. Let's try to remember next year to not try to cram as many things into the first week of
Well, you've already
of January.
started the radio show, so
So-
we don't have to start that next year. The
Okay,
radio
but you-
show on Saturday mornings, 92.9.
You know how
Kicks
we are. We'll
Country.
start something new. So
Well, this year you're going to be doing a game show. I'm going to be going out on the water and fishing, and from land and from the boats. We've got other types of shows we're going to be introducing in with this. And all of it's based around trying to help you understand and have fun and, catch fish. That's basically what it's for. And hopefully I can make a little bit of money at this because I'm old and greedy and I'd like to, get paid. But
your
other than that,
education and entertainment is our real goal.
yes,
that's
the
the plan.
edification and entertainment.
100%.
No, it's probably about
80%.
60, 70%. The rest of it, I'd like to get paid,
Okay, for me,
But we
it's
get 1,000 subscribers.
primarily
We can
that.
actually get paid.
in theory.
And
Nickels and
then
dimes.
we've got quantum reels, and they are so much better than most reels. They don't have any lightweight stuff out yet, but I'm hoping that's coming. But a brand new group of people at Quantum Reels, they're doing an awesome job. Love their products. They've got rods that the guides are. We actually had a guy come in, bought a Quantum, and it had corroded guides on it. And I called him up and I said, something's happening. It was, this is weird. It's got corrosion on a guide.
Yeah.
And we had to special mail that back to them because they want to know what the heck was going on because they're not supposed to corrode. It was actually a big deal from, the big bosses all the way down. DOA, my buddy Mark Nichols, he's just most amazing guy, great human being and excellent products. Lou's Baitcasters, great people. Reaper rods. We need American fishing wire banners. I've been trying to get Sean to send us AFW, High Seas, Triple Fish. God, they have several companies. We're going to have them all represented, Strike King. But just up here, I don't know if you can tilt up or not.
I probably could, but it takes me a minute to get there.
Okay.
I like the idea that your heads are cut off anyway.
Yeah.
It amuses me. So let's see which one that is. Please hold.
Yeah.
Your call's
okay.
very important to me. There we go.
Yeah, your call is very important to us.
There you are.
A little bit. There you go, right there.
There you go.
All right. This guy had a Quantum Reels. That's the big boss right there. This is my buddy, the national sales manager. This is me drunk out of my mind, barely able to walk. And we were at one of the big trade shows, ICAST. We just having a blast. But Mike and Gary, awesome people. That's Quantum Reels over there. I've been friends with these guys 20 some years. Love their products, love them. And I had reel companies and lure companies asked to sponsor the podcast because I have kind of a track record. And I said, no, I don't. I want to be able to talk about the products with enthusiasm, with passion, and I can say they have something I don't like, I will tell you that. If there's stuff any one of the sponsors have that I believe is good or bad, you will hear about it. Most companies are too, Quantum is very secure. I've told them bad stuff, tell them good stuff. They know how I am. They want to work with us because they love independent retailers. They think the independent tackle shops are the backbone of the industry, where so many companies think that Walmart and Bass Pro are the backbone. Could be, but I'm an independent retailer. Which one do you think I like better? All right. Anyway, thank you guys. We're getting out of here, and such
let's
as
get
the
some
fishing
music
report
going
was.
here. See if we can.
We're
hear
at Saturday and Sunday Charlotte County Boat Show. Saturday morning from 7 to 9 on 92.9 Kicks Country. Listen to Josh's Slack Tides radio show.
Slack Tides Radio.
Okay. Is there
Okay.
music?
There is. I'm hearing.
Okay.
Do you hear it?
I just didn't turn my volume up.
Okay, there it is. It's going. It's going now.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for a great 25.
Good night and sleep tight, we gotta go. We'll see y'all real soon for the next show.